Ready up, soldier. Move, move, move! Get back to the battlefield, Commander. There's work to do. Reinforcements inbound. Reclaim Bravo. Foxtrot signal is online. Drop a echo for us.
Ship's gone!
Enemy command has called in backup. Alpha is now online. Shield offline. Suit fully charged. Reinforcements have arrived. Shield online. Foxtrot is seeing combat. Get some guns over there. Shield online. Enemy forces inbound. Reinforcements have arrived. Shots are being exchanged at Alpha. Enemy support has arrived. Foxtrot is ours. Echo is lit up.
Target neutralized. Repositioning.
Reinforcements are touching down. Entering pressurized environment. Reinforcements inbound. The enemy has taken Alpha. Shield offline. No vital signs detected.
Charlie has come online.
Nearing the drop zone. Get ready. Enemy reinforcements are exhausted. Take out the rest. Go, go, go! Good to have you back on the field, Commander. Reinforcements are ready to deploy. victory. Select your reward back at base.
Starting patrol.
Extraction request sent.
Four, three, two, one. Engage.
Patrius, a fireside chat with Serena, 3302. Denton Patrius is a powerful Imperial senator and the Admiral of the Imperial Fleet. He is a controversial figure, admired by many Imperials for his wealth and influence, but deeply unpopular in other quarters for his uncompromising approach to debtors. He is also noted for commanding one of the strongest private military fleets in colonized space. Patrius has repeatedly issued loans to struggling governments via shell companies, only to later hike up the interest rates. When the government defaults on the loan, a common occurrence, Patrius moves in to foreclose. Since few governments are able to match the power of his private fleet, this is usually a one-sided affair, although some governments have appealed for and received the aid of independent pilots. This strategy has brought numerous systems under the control of Patrius's various corporations. If Patrius has any long-term goals beyond increasing his personal power and holding the line against the Alliance and the Federation, they are not publicly known. Politically, he has always played the part of the loyal Imperial. He accepts the need for progress, and has devoted considerable attention to eradicating Emperor's Dawn, an insurgent organization responsible for the assassination of Emperor Hengist de Val. His support for the Empire has been well rewarded, and as Admiral of the Fleet, he enjoys an enviable level of prestige. But even this may not be enough, and many have speculated that Patrius harbors a desire to become Emperor. During the period of uncertainty that followed the death of Hengist de Val, Patrius suggested that the title of Emperor be assigned on the basis of public support, rather than lineal descent, a statement that was widely interpreted as a bid for the throne. When the succession passed to Odyssey de Val by vote of the Senate, Patrius did not contest it. The question of who should succeed Odyssey de Val is now a pertinent one. Imperial commentators have suggested that Patrius's highly visible courtship of Princess Aisling de Val may be part of a long-term strategy, as well as a piece of savvy media manipulation. Odyssey de Val has no children, whereas a child born to a Patrius de Val partnership could be an extremely strong contender for the throne. Individuals: Edmund Mahon.
Naturally, we faced criticism over the Lu conflict. Many people thought we should have been in there, guns blazing. On the one hand, you have a system that wants to be independent, and on the other, you have the oppressive Federation telling them no. The authorities in Lu put out a call for aid, and what did the Alliance do? We turned them down. That would never have happened on the Holos, would it? I would have been at the head of the Alliance fleet, taking down the Fed-Cap ship with a well-aimed torpedo up the tailpipe. But life isn't like the Holos. You need political and legal clarity. When Lu asked for our help, who exactly was doing the asking? The people? All right then. Which people? Who counted their votes, and how was the process?
This whole system's rife with conflict. Are you ready to join the...
Talk to us today about...
You ready to see some action, soldier?
Frontline Solutions specializes in getting combatants where they need to be.
Copy that. Deployment confirmed. Report to the dropship.
Target's down.
Delta is now online. Enemy command has called in backup.
Good to have you. Fall back and regroup.
Got him.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Pay for that.
Shield online. Shots are being exchanged at Alpha. Shield online. Enemy forces inbound.
Repositioning.
Frameshift drive charging.
All clear. Flight control out.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Reinforcements are ready to deploy. Reinforcements are coming in hot.
Orbital flight engaged.
Entering pressurized environment. Foxtrot, taken by the enemy.
Foxtrot 8 to control. Approaching conflict zone.
For a final approach, on the boat. Good to have you with us, Commander. We need to take control of this location. Move it now! Shield deactivated. Enemy support has arrived. Shield activated. Reinforcements inbound.
Cover me, reloading.
Pressurized environment.
Target neutralized.
Fox charged. Enemy command is called in backup. Delta has been captured. The enemy took Echo. Shield deactivated. Alpha is now online. Shield activated. Foxtrot. Enemy online.
Reloading!
We've lost someone. Shield offline. Reinforcements are touching down.
Reloading! What was that?
Shield online. Enemy reinforcements are coming in hot. Cover me! I gotta move! Charlie was secured. Shield offline. Reinforcements have arrived. Foxtrot is armed. Echo is lit up. Shield online.
Target neutralized.
Enemy forces inbound. Alpha point secured. Charlie has come online. Delta is now online. Enemy support has arrived. Reinforcements are ready to deploy. Charlie was secured. The enemy took Echo. Alpha is now online. Foxtrot signal is online. Enemy forces inbound. Reinforcements have arrived. Entering pressurized environment. Suit fully charged. Foxtrot is ours. Charlie has come online. Enemy support has arrived. Delta has been captured. Got the advantage. Keep going. Bravo is online. Leaving pressurized environment. The enemy has taken Alpha. Enemy command is called in backup. Reinforcements have arrived. Delta is now online. Enemy engaged in Charlie.
Just you and me now!
Enemy reinforcements are coming in hot. Flank Bravo. Reinforcements are ready to deploy. Suit recharging. Alpha is now online. Suit fully charged.
Enemies on my 6!
Enemy is playing Charlie. Shield offline. Delta has been captured. Charlie has come online. Enemy command has called in backup.
Cover me! Reloading!
Reinforcements have arrived.
Taking fire from the rear!
Back out! Incoming!
Enemy command has called in backup.
Enemies behind! Cover!
Enemy has claimed Charlie.
Reloading! 1.6!
Target eliminated!
Bravo is online.
Regroup!
Reinforcements are ready to deploy. Enemy support has arrived. Entering pressurized environment. Leaving pressurized environment. The enemy took Echo. Alpha point secured. Charlie has come online. Gaining the upper hand. Echo has lit up. Reinforcements have arrived. Claim Bravo.
You're going down!
Target down!
Alpha is now online. Enemy reinforcements are coming in hot. Reinforcements are touching down. Warning. Suit power loss imminent. Entering pressurized environment. Suit fully charged. Drop up Echo for us. Bravo is online. Enemy support has arrived. Alpha point secured. Reinforcements have arrived. Leaving pressurized environment. Echo has lit up. Enemy has claimed Charlie. Delta is now online. Reinforcements are touching down. Enemy support has arrived. Pressurized environment. Chalk up and clear the area of remaining enemies that we've won. Reinforcements are touching down. Charlie has come online. Leaving pressurized environment.
progress.
Extraction request sent.
Four, three, two, one. Engage.
Monitored. Was their decision an informed one, or were they bombarded with propaganda? The Alliance is rigorous, you see. You can't join a voluntary association of free systems unless you can offer demonstrable proof of your freedom to choose, just as you can't enter into a contract without being of sound mind, acting without coercion.
Edmund Mahon, responding to a question from Jessica Braganza, one of a party of schoolchildren visiting the Prime Minister's residence. Edmund Mahon is the current Prime Minister of the Alliance. The product of a corn-farming family based on Birmingham in the DSO system, Mahon was hard-working and shrewd from an early age, with a particular talent for negotiation. Nobody seemed able to beat his crop prices down, and he always managed to shave something off the asking price of any tools or machinery the family needed. In the first book of his autobiography, The Shadow of Silo 7, he attributes this talent to preparatory research, claiming that he always found out as much as he could about the people he would be dealing with before meeting them. At 18, Mahon won a federal scholarship to study law. Frustrated with what he saw as the imbalance of power between corporations and their employees, Mahon intended to specialize in cases of corporate exploitation. He quickly found, however, that the legal profession was not to his liking. Awash with duplicity, double talk, and corruption was his assessment, and he switched track to political science. 2 years into his course, and following an increasingly vocal series of broadcasts on a personal video channel in which he argued in favor of the newly formed alliance, Mahon's scholarship funds were abruptly cut off. He had unknowingly violated a clause that required him to refrain from public criticism of the federal government. Unwilling to return to his family without having made something of himself, Mahon had no choice but to look for work while continuing to study. The bar in which he had spent so many hours as a student was happy to take him on as a bartender, and he proved so competent that after his graduation he took on the role of manager. Mahon claims it was this experience, rather than any innate idealism, that set him on the path to becoming a career politician. As he puts it, a good bartender has to be able to listen, and to give equal respect to everyone, while demanding that others do the same. He has to be able to distinguish what is meant from what is said, encourage free exchange of views, while tactfully enforcing the rules, and, when necessary, break up fights. Mahon's break into politics came when his friends encouraged him to run for city office against the favoured corporate candidate, Jensen Crane. The Mahon campaign began as a token protest, since Crane was expected to win by a comfortable majority. Mahon eviscerated Crane in the live debates, however, winning over the audience with a combination of wry humour and an empathetic awareness of local concerns that Crane could not hope to match, living as he did in a high-altitude apartment complex. Crane was elected by a narrow margin, but Mahon's supporters begged him to continue in politics. So it was that, at the age of just 27, Mahon found himself working alongside elder statesperson Irene Mendel, helping with the campaign to break the DSO system away from the Federation and make it a part of the Alliance. By the time DSO joined the Alliance in 3286, Mahon was a seasoned parliamentarian. He served as a planetary representative several times before making his bid for the premiership. Individuals: Felicia Winters.
Politics has always been a breeding ground for lies. But one lie out.
You ready to see some action, soldier?
Online Solutions specializes in getting combatants where they need to be. Grab your gun and do your part.
Roger that. Deployment confirmed.
Welcome aboard.
From, Lord,
Cover me! Reloading!
It's Lane Bravo. We're gaining the upper hand.
almost done? Okay.
350 on the counter.
I'll just be in time to collect my credits then.
Frameshift drive charging.
Speed restrictions are now lifted. Flight
Shines
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
all the others. And today, we heard it once again. It is the insinuation that to seek a diplomatic solution is weak. That a preference for discussion over conflict means we're afraid to fight. We are accustomed to this, of course. We've heard the president's supporters pervert our words again and again. When we face up to the Federation's previous wrongs, they mock us for our so-called liberal guilt. When we celebrate a détente between the superpowers that will help us oppose the Thargoid menace, they imply that we're traitors. But it is they who are afraid, and with good reason, because the people of the Federation have had enough. They will no longer be manipulated into reckless conflicts that serve only to fatten the wallets of the arms dealers and the privileged. They will no longer pretend that Hudson's tub thumping and saber rattling is anything more than vacuous propaganda. From star to star, Connolly to complex,
flight engaged.
satellite to station, we hear the same heartfelt cry. Let the mistakes of the past remain in the past, and let the Federation embrace only the best of itself. Let us return to the core values of hard work, honest trade, support for the vulnerable, and mutual respect. The people are ready. For us! Let us be ready for them!
Felicia Winters, Liberal Party Annual Address, 3303. Felicia Winters is the head of the Liberal Party of the Federation, and as such serves as ex officio shadow president, opposite President Zachary Hudson of the Republican Party. Winters was born and raised on Taylor Colony, one of the oldest human colonies, and worked for the Sirius Corporation before going into politics full-time at the age of 44.
Her current role was thrust upon her unexpectedly. Prior to 3301, Winters was Secretary of State to then President Jasmina Halsey. When both Halsey and Vice President Ethan Naylor went missing aboard Starship One, Winters became acting president. The assumption of this responsibility left her visibly shaken, and despite her popularity in Congress, it was widely felt that she was not up to the job. The Liberal Party was in a state of crisis at the time following the Luke conflict. A group of forces had sought to make the Luke system independent from federal control, prompting a declaration of war from the Federation. Many of the party's supporters were shocked by President Halsey's decision to open fire on refugee ships during the conflict. According to reports, Winters questioned the action, arguing passionately with her friend Halsey behind closed doors, while maintaining a front of solidarity. Consequently, she found herself responsible for a party whose voter base had largely deserted it, and whose values had slipped out of alignment with her own. Shortly after Halsey's disappearance, Zachary Hudson called for an emergency vote of no confidence that he resigned, resulting in his appointment to the president. Given the massive support for Hudson and the disarray among the Liberals, Winters was expected to resign and let the Liberal Party rebuild itself from the ground up. Instead, she threw herself into the role, leading efforts to persuade various systems not to come to the alliance, and distributing aid packages to planets in need. Her energetic and elected approach led to fresh support for both her and her party, and she currently rivals Hudson in popularity scales. Individuals. Hengist Duval. Hengist Duval, 3163 to 3301, was the 15th ruler of the Empire. He was assassinated on the day of his wedding to Florence Lavendia. Hengist reigned during a time of significant change. The Imperial Senate had begun to grow in power, a process that had begun during the long sickness of Hengist's father, Hesper. The development of the frameshift drive had radically altered life in human-occupied space, facilitating easy access to goods and interstellar travel, and opening formerly isolated cultures to outside influence. Old animosities between the Empire and the Federation finally began to fade. Hengist appeared to neither resist nor oppose these many changes, instead opting to keep the Empire as stable as he could on a day-to-day basis. This middle ground approach is deeply unpopular with the Empire's hardcore traditional elements, which saw Hengist as short-sighted, detached, and complacent. In 3238, Hengist wed Anthea Viola Lampeter in an arranged marriage, planned since his childhood by his late father. Despite a storm of publicity and celebrations across Imperial space, the draft being hysterical, there was clearly little genuine attention to the couple. It was an open secret that the match had been made solely because of optimal genetic compatibility. Hengist could not refuse without dishonouring his father's memory. Marriage crumbled, Hengist spent much of his time with his boyfriend friend, Aristotle, and his wife, Florence, in their estate of Antony. Inflammatory tracks from this period portray the Imperial dynasty and its noble cohorts as little more than libertines, indulging in lascivious affairs and lengthy holidays, while the Senate was the real work of government. The most scurrilous part was that the Duval genetic code had been corrupted by centuries of different bills, prompting speculation that a successor of the true would have been found. The birth of Hengist's heir, Prince Harold, temporarily quieted the skeptics. A carefully orchestrated father-son photo shoot, where Harold was 9, showed the pair riding horses and javelins, watching a senatorial debate and preparing for a seasonal feast. The photo shoot was clearly designed to appeal to traditional Imperial values, and it succeeded. For several years after, Prince Harold was the darling of the Empire, a symbol of promise and hope. The intense media focus on the prince's life is now believed to be partly responsible for his fall from grace, which saw him become a notorious playboy and philanderer, and which eventually resulted in his exclusion from the succession on the grounds of mental incapacity. Towards the end of Hengist's life, it emerged that Orissa Lavinie, the daughter of Florence Lavinie, was in fact his daughter. Hengist intended to strengthen her claim to the throne by marrying Florence, thus legitimizing Orissa, but he was assassinated before this could take place. The most enduring criticism of Emperor Hengist is that he failed to plan adequately for the future. Certainly, the matter of the succession created tensions that endure to this day.
Keep it up. The Foxtrot signal is online.
Individuals. Ishmael Palin.
If the history of eugenics tells us anything, it is that we do not tend towards greater egalitarianism over time, but rather find new ways for the privileged to exploit and control the dispossessed. Nevertheless, I do occasionally dream of ways in which we might evolve further.
Reinforcements inbound. Enemy reinforcements are coming in
If I could
hot.
change
Enemy
just
is
one
Charlie.
aspect of human nature, it would be our chronic tendency towards tribalism. In that matter, we have barely advanced a step in 1,000,000 years. While the sun shines, we meet and treat with one another, but when the skies darken, we roar and whisper viciously. And at the first flash of the unknown, we huddle like primates in a cage, terrified of the thunder, pressing only those who smell the same as us.
Professor Ishmael Palin, Memorandum to Students, 3289. Professor Ishmael Palin was a scientist specializing in research into non-human technologies and cultures, with a particular emphasis on material artifacts. He's generally considered one of the galaxy's foremost experts on planets. Professor Palin began his career working for the federal government as a member of the Homeland Scientific Council. In 1901, when objects apparently of non-human origin were discovered in cosmic systems, the Federation launched a research program and placed Professor Palin in charge. To the surprise of many, the program was shut down. Ostensibly on the grounds of safety, Palin refused to comment on the decision, but inside sources later revealed stark differences of opinion between Palin and the federal authorities. Palin insisted that the fruits of his team's research into the so-called
Vital signs weak. Vital signs stabilized. Shield online. Reinforcements have arrived. Foxtrot taken by the enemy. Alpha is in enemy hands. Enemy support has arrived. Stabilized. Charlie was secured. Alpha is now online. Shield online. Echo is lit up. Reinforcements inbound. Enemy reinforcements are coming in hot. Moving towards target.
Got it.
Suit recharging. Suit fully charged. Reinforcements are touching down. Entering pressurized. I'm out of range. Move it up.
Sure thing.
Enemy reinforcements are coming in hot. Leaving pressurized environment. Entering pressurized environment. Charging. Reinforcements are touching down.
Watch my back!
Drop up echo force. Shield online. Enemy forces inbound.
Warning. Vital signs weak. No vital signs detected.
Target inbound!
Reinforcements are touching down. One enemy remaining. Hunt him down. Area secure. All targets down. Great job. We'll have your payment waiting at the port.
Starting sweep.
Shield deactivated. Extraction request sent.
Four, three, two, one. Engage.
Known artifacts, later reclassified as Thargoid sensors, should be open to everyone, but his federal paymasters wanted the Federation alone to benefit. Palin promptly established his own research body, the Palin Institute, and announced his intent to relocate to the Maya system. Beyond the boundaries of superpower-controlled space, his ship disappeared shortly after he set off for Maya, however, and it was not until March 3302 that Palin and his crew were discovered, alive, in escape pods in the Orlos system. Palin revealed that unknown parties had abducted the team, held them captive, and questioned them extensively about their research. Shortly thereafter, Palin stepped down as the head of the Palin Institute in favor of Cora Shaw, citing opposition to his work from dark forces as the reason. He established his own independent research center on Maya A3A and began to study meta-alloys, a material sourced from the Thargoid structures nicknamed barnacles. In October 3302, Palin discovered that meta-alloys could be applied to the development of new defensive technologies. But no sooner had the news broken than the Federation blockaded his research center with a Farragut-class battlecruiser, preventing all access. The move was condemned by the Alliance and the Empire, but the Federation appeared to take no notice. Almost a year later, in September 3303, the federal blockade was lifted. No explanation was given either for the blockade or for its cessation. The event has since been interpreted as the beginning of the end of the Federal Imperial Cold War. In July 3305, Palin was forced to abandon his research center when the Thargoids entered the Maya system en masse. Together with his team, Palin was evacuated to the Ark system, where he wasted no time in establishing a new base of operations at Able Laboratory on Ark 4P. Professor Palin's career has been an inspiration to many young scientists, partly because of his determination that research should benefit everyone, and partly because of his dogged tenacity in the face of repeated interference. He was aware that by choosing to study the Thargoids...
The fight is never over, soldier. Sight ready to put your training to use, soldier.
Talk to us today about how you can help decide the future of this star system. Grab your gun and do...
Roger that. Dropship's waiting for you in the hangar. Good luck, soldier.
Good to have you on board.
Making himself a target, since there were shadowy agencies who very much wanted to be the sole beneficiaries of this research. But he defiantly persisted with his work nonetheless. Professor Palin may not consider himself heroic, but the fact remains that many less principled scientists in his position would have long ago submitted to intimidation or the promise of material reward.
Frameshift
Individuals.
drive charging.
Jasmina Halsey.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
I know what they're saying. They're picking my story to pieces. Some of the criticism is rational. The lack of corroborative evidence, for example. I don't mind that. I'm telling the truth, after all. An irrational approach can't hurt the truth. But when they say what I experienced is an archetypal conversion story, and that makes it suspect, if what I saw reminds people of historical accounts, doesn't that say something about those experiences?
Jasmina Halsey, 3302. Jasmina Halsey, a former politician, served as president of the Federation from 3300 to 3301. She now works as a peace activist and close advisor to Alliance Prime Minister Edmund Mahon. Halsey claims the profound transformation of her views is the result of a visionary experience in which she communicated with benign non-human life forms, an episode that allegedly occurred in 3301, following the destruction of her vessel, Starship One. Prior to the disappearance of Starship One, Halsey's presidency was unpopular among federal citizens. Taxes had been raised too many times, and her military interventions were seen as heavy-handed. A campaign to ban the narcotic onion head went awry when the crops were firebombed, resulting in collateral damage. During the Lu Rebellion, Halsey gave the order to fire on a civilian convoy, in the belief that a rebel leader was on one of the vessels. Many senior commanders in the Federal Navy lost faith in Halsey and transferred their loyalty to then Shadow President Zachary Hudson. Hudson called for a vote of no confidence in Halsey's government shortly after Starship One went missing and achieved an overwhelming victory. Though Halsey was later found alive, drifting in an escape pod, suggestions that she might be reinstated as president gained little support. Perhaps surprisingly, Halsey's account of her experiences has received a large degree of acceptance among the galactic community. But even those who accept her description of an encounter with non-human entities suspect there is more to the story than has been made public. Skeptics hold that the event presents too many unanswered questions, such as precisely what happened to Starship One, as well as offering Halsey a suspiciously convenient way out of her failing presidential career. The most scathing of Halsey's critics condemn her as a traitor and a traitor who was conspiring with Edward Mahon even before she left the Federation, and who staged the Starship One catastrophe as a confident means of defecting to the Alliance and taking vital federal intelligence with her. Halsey
originally addressed these theories by emphasizing how
Enemy command has
incompatible
called
they
in
were with
backup.
her behavior, citing her efforts to establish refugee centers for victims of conflict and her public condemnation of the federal imperial Cold War. But more recently, she has simply laughed
Reinforcements
away.
inbound.
Individuals: Lee Yong-rui,
The fortune teller rattling bones in her simple hut, the smiling insurance salesman with his snakeskin briefcase, and the data analyst with his interactive holographic model are all selling the same thing: certainty.
Delta is now online.
One of the paradoxes of human existence is that we crave the freedom to be spontaneous, thinking it essential to our nature, while constantly seeking reassurance that nothing unexpected is going to happen. We flatter ourselves with the belief that we are exempt from the rules of modeling that govern the rest of the universe.
Introduction to Becoming the Watchmaker. Lee Yong-rui's master's thesis on the innate human reluctance to accept behavior predictability. Lee Yong-rui is the chief operating officer of the Sirius Corporation and its governmental subsidiary, Sirius Gov. Like many other members of the Lee dynasty, Yong-rui came to the corporate world with an academic background, having achieved doctorates in multiple fields and specializing in extrapolating potential future situations. Although he is in many respects an innovator, Yong-rui embodies the archetype of the healthy, energetic corporate executive, with little of the eccentricity that traditionally characterizes his vision. The greater of the popularity is attributable to his innate sanity and outward conventionality. Those who have worked under him describe him as radiating self-assurance and giving the impression that everything is completely under control. Yong-rui has brought a similar sense of constancy to Sirius Gov, giving the citizens under his governance the impression that they can trust their government to do the right thing. Yong-rui has stated many times that he does not believe in the concept of chaos, holding that while order is objective, chaos is subjective. Since existence is fundamentally meaningful, any semblance of discord can only be the result of the observer's own failure to discern it. Even so, mistake he attributes his success in economics to his insistence upon viewing the universe, especially its human components, in clear and unsentimental terms. All human behavior, he believes, can be reduced to simple, quantifiable facts, ultimately predicted upon enlightened self-interest. This approach, as well as being laudably rational, allows for truly impartial government. Individuals if my ancestors here, I don't prove I don't. Enlightenment is supposed to be hard work. In theory, it's accessible to everyone, but in practice, only those who devote peace to their life and meditation can hope to accomplish anything. To do what we have done, to democratize the spirit through technology, would look to my forebears like unforgivable laziness.
Foxtrot signal is online.
But all things must happen in their appointed time. We now stand on the verge of overcoming the greatest obstacle to human progress there has ever been. The isolation of the human consciousness. Loneliness. Misunderstanding. Hatred. All forms of conflict result from this detachment.
Cover me! Reloading!
But our technology allows us to truly see the world through other eyes.
Grenade inbound!
Which are highly achieved, but the mystics and sages have spent centuries striving for. And break down the fortress of the individual. Pranav Antal. Pranav Antal is the leader of the Utopia movement, within which he is referred to by the honorific Sim Guru. Utopia is a visionary project with a goal to enhance humanity scientifically, morally, and spiritually via the application of technology with a particular focus on simulations. Sims, to digitize thoughts, emotions, and perceptions of another.
Bravo is online.
Bernard inherited leadership of Utopia from his father, Rishi Enter. Rishi was the founder of Utopia and designer of the Sim Archive, a facility that allows the living to experience the digitized memories of the deceased. Although at present it is impossible to experience these memories passively, Bernard has mentioned the possibility of incorporating them into a simulated individual, or data ghost, that can then be interfaced with, thereby allowing individuals to endure beyond death. In his youth, Bernard was expected to undertake a range of physical chores, despite the technological and material wealth available to his family, and is often spoken of digging vegetables out of the ground and rebuilding collapsed cultivation tunnels after a storm. At the time, he begrudged these tasks, but having since assessed his deceased father's memories, he now appreciates that the work gave him an understanding of how the disadvantaged experience life, as well as reminding him that humanity is dependent upon the material world and must not hold it tight. Bernard is generally considered more commercially minded than his ascetic father, prompting his critics to condemn him as a plutocrat.
Repositioning.
With only a superficial interest in utopia's ideals. His supporters feeds him as combining the wisdom of his father with a shrewd commercial nous. Regardless, both sides agree that Utopia has undergone significant change under Bernard's leadership. Bernard's prevalent concern, apart from continuing to expand Utopia, is the Acheron interface. His claim that thereby surpassing the limitations of the project itself. Some commentators have expressed wariness,
claiming the project steers unacceptably close to the development of artificial intelligence, which is prohibited throughout the galaxy. But Pranav's standpoint is that a system that translates intelligence into a new form, like the Acheron interface, is not artificial intelligence, since the human being remains at the core of the process. Individuals. Yuri Grom.
We have portraits of all the other leaders to accompany the articles. Only Grom remains. I have no idea what to expect. The man is more than half myth. Marcus and I sit alone drinking tea that tastes vaguely of gunpowder and spices. The word comes through. Grom does not want to be photographed on the knocked-up throne we had in mind. He will stand in front of the station viewport with E.G. Prime hanging in space behind him. The cameras are ready. They have been ready for an hour. Without warning, Grom strides in. The makeup crew approach him, but he waves them away. He glances at their creams and paints. Then he's advancing on me. Angry. I do not hide these, he says, gesturing to the medals on his chest. So why should I hide these? He points to his scarred face. I splutter something about not meaning to offend him, but he gives me a slap on the back that jostles my vertebrae and lets out a laugh that can crack glass. I have never felt so out of depth in my life.
Carmine Renard, the Almain Yuri Grom is the leader of the EG Pilots, an independent faction opposed to the rail system. Grom was originally a federal admiral, but he retired from the Federation on ideological grounds. He has never publicly discussed the circumstances of his resignation, but it is believed he was disgusted by the corruption he discovered in the Federation. His retirement came as a shock to the senior members of Federal Command, who were expected to become instructed. A number of federal pilots who were loyal to Grom resigned at the same time, in order to continue serving under him. The Federation has never released a complete account of this episode, possibly owing to embarrassment. His appetite for expansion and understanding, Grom inspired great loyalty in his followers, and even among those he conquers. Indeed, such people often prefer Grom's rulership to the one they originally had. No doubt due to Grom's well-attested talent for negotiation, insistence upon honorable combat, and fair treatment of captives. He is even rumored to have persuaded entire settlements to surrender without a single shot being fired. While Grom is admired by his own people and has earned the respect the Federation views him as a menace. President Zachary Hudson is reported to have referred to Grom as a cancer that Halsey foolishly allowed to spread, and she could have cut it out. Hudson's views are not shared by the wider federal military, and although cadets have been forbidden to listen to Grom's broadcasts or read his work, small groups of adherents are believed to exist, conducting private meetings and even pledging support for Grom. Hudson has dismissed such reports as obvious Gromsky propaganda designed to set at one another's throats. Individuals
The truth is that you cannot escape adversity. You have to stand up and face it. That's how you get stronger. That's how you learn. Well, maybe this will be a learning. Maybe your kids have dirty faces and shabby clothes. If that's how it is, if you have to work, so be it. I'm not going to insult you by pity, because I know you can do better. And you know it too. I'm not a monster, despite what the liberals think. I believe in government aid, but I believe it should be reserved for times of genuine crisis. And being poor is not a crisis.
Reinforcements are ready to deploy.
People can do remarkable things when they're properly motivated. And that motivation is something no amount of government money can provide. Now the police still be out there jostling for scraps of living space to stay dangerous.
Coming in hot.
I have a framed quotation on my wall. It's something my father used to say to me. When I got older, I found out it was by a man called Nuremberg, who lived a couple of thousand years ago. It said, certain divine rays break out of your soul in adversity, like sparks from the flickered flame. Now you just think about that.
Reinforcements inbound. Shield online. Warning. Vital signs weak. Vital signs stabilized. Enemy reinforcements are coming in hot. Only a few more enemies left. Wipe them out. Shield online. Moving to flanking position. Oh. Incoming grenade!
Regroup!
Retreat!
There we go, Jake!
Shield online. Reinforcements inbound. Shield online. The enemy took Echo. Bravo is online. Watch my six.
Take it fire from there!
Warning. Reinforcements are touching down.
Shield gone!
One enemy remaining. Hunt him down. Already lost. Fine. No more enemies are left. Looks like the day is ours. Suit fully charged. Head back to base for your reward. Shield online. Shield deactivated. Extraction request sent.
Four, three, two, one. Engage.
Zachary Hudson, Federal Times interview, 3293. Zachary Hudson is the president of the Federation, having won a vote of no confidence against the previous incumbent, Jasmina Halsey, in June 3301. Politically, Hudson is a Republican and a hawk, unafraid to explore military solutions to problems. Hudson's parents were itinerant traders who made their home on their hauling vessel. From a young age, Hudson was burdened with responsibility. He would often be left in charge of his 5 younger siblings while his parents were off plying their trade, and has spoken of the long hours he would spend watching the cargo, with nothing but a rifle for company, in case raiders tried to steal it. The young Hudson greatly admired the military, and when he was old enough to begin trading himself, he made a point of offering pilots a discount on food and beer. Given the standard of food cartridge rations in most barracks and the low pay soldiers received, this effort was welcomed. When times were especially hard and there was no money to invest in stock, the Hudson family would land on Earth planets and hunt for game, which they would dress and sell themselves. Hudson has emphasized that this was perfectly legal. No matter how hungry they were, they never resorted to poaching. The president remains a keen hunter and enjoys taking diplomatic guests on hunting trips, cooking them dinner himself. Hudson reportedly takes particular pride in his steaks. Hudson's entrance into politics was marked by a growing sense that the federal government and its heavy taxes were making it harder for traders to earn a living, while rewarding those who did not want to work. When bureaucratic red tape prevented the family from docking for 24 hours, resulting in the loss of an entire cargo of perishable goods, Hudson decided to do something about it. Hudson has never served in the military, but he is generally regarded as one of us by the Federation Naval Command. His old friend, Lucas Vincent, is now Admiral of the fleet, and the two enjoy a close professional relationship. Hudson has given the military considerable support, investing in improved training facilities, cutting taxes for shipyards, and cultivating public respect for the armed forces. Individuals. Zamina Torval.
It is essential to the stability of any state that its members know their place, and that all roles are understood to be equally worthy. To condemn a slave for being merely a slave is the height of stupidity. If your hand were to condemn your foot for being a foot, clumsy and graceless, pressed repeatedly into the filth, you would do well to hack it off at the wrist. Even worse, imagine if your eyeballs demanded that every other part of you should be an eyeball too, in the name of equality. What an abomination you would be then. But the truth is that the Federation and the Alliance think in exactly this way.
If you want to make a difference, this is where you start. You ready?
Frontline Solutions specializes in getting combatants where they need to be.
Get ready to deploy. Dropship's waiting for you in the hangar. Good luck, soldier.
Welcome aboard. You will notice that I wear a beautiful stone upon my finger. There is no other like it, which means that only one person can wear it. But that is unfair, cries the Federation. Why should you be the only one to enjoy it? They would have me smash it to bits and give everyone a tiny piece. But then, the beautiful stone would be gone, and nobody could ever wear it again.
Zemina Torval, Midwinter Address to the Bitterwood Children, 3303. Zemina Torval is an Imperial senator with an immense personal fortune and a redoubtable private army. She is an unapologetic traditionalist, especially
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
The Empire's use of slavery is concerned. Her own wealth derives directly from slavery. She owns a majority share in Mistopolos mining, which depends upon slave labor, but she draws a distinction between imperial slaves, who are owed a duty of care, and slavery as it is commonly understood. This distinction is held in contempt elsewhere in the galaxy, however, and the Federation in particular considers it mere sophistry. Torval was born and educated at Bitterwood, her palatial family estate in the Sintini system, alongside a host of siblings and cousins, including members of the Mistopolos dynasty. Among Bitterwood's many cavernous hallways and vaulted arcades, she learned to fence and play strategic games, as well as mastering higher mathematics, politics, and galactic history. She quickly learned how to play her relatives against one another to get what she wanted, and the right things to say to an adult to elicit sympathy. She also learned that carefully laid plans, rather than rash action, were the most efficient ways to settle a grudge. It was at Bitterwood that Torval met the slave Metropa Leish, who soon became a mother figure, the young Torval having been starved of parental affection. Commentators have suggested that Torval's relationship with Leish underpins the Senator's passionate defense of imperial slavery. Torval's chief interests are industry and education. As well as sponsoring schools across Imperial space, she runs a private academy at Bitterwood for the Empire's most promising children. The selection process is rigorous but meritocratic, with candidates chosen on the ground of ability rather than background. Even Imperial slaves can apply, although they cannot enroll while they are still slaves, so arrangements are sometimes made to purchase a candidate's freedom. Every year, a fresh crop of Torval's Bitterwood children goes out into the Empire to assume positions of leadership in the military and in industry. Corporations. The grandest society of merchants in the universe. Self-applied description of the East India Company, 1600 to 1708. Corporations. Introduction.
During the centuries in which humanity was confined to a single planet, corporations were naturally limited in size and influence, like fish in a bowl. With access to a finite quantity of natural resources and a relatively small arena in which to compete, corporations could not achieve their full theoretical potential. But with the advent of interstellar travel, the fish bowl became an ocean. Corporations could access and exploit entire planets for their mineral resources, and an expanding population eagerly colonizing system after system meant a growing customer base. To the governments of the time, the potential for corporate growth was both thrilling and terrifying. Commercial prosperity meant increased tax revenue and higher employment. It also raised the worrying prospect of security threats, rivaling the official militaries. It seemed inevitable that the largest corporations would, in time, become the equivalent of nation-states in their own right. With all restrictions gone, there was simply nothing to stop them. Today, this vision has been partly fulfilled, with several corporations owning entire systems. For many corporate employees, the age-old distinction between a home and a workplace has vanished. Workers on corporate-owned ships, refineries, and outposts can expect to spend their entire lives in the embrace of the company. Despite their immense wealth and power, the corporations have thus far been content to operate within and remain subject to the jurisdictions of the Alliance, Empire, and Federation, rather than mount a serious challenge to any of them. Commentators point to two reasons for this. Firstly, corporations thrive by excelling in their chosen fields and assuming the onerous responsibilities of government will it be a wasteful distraction?
Reinforcements have arrived.
Secondly, given that the corporation controls much of the real power, especially in the Federation, there is nothing to be gained by abolishing the company beneath the state. Better to operate a laser service, make assured compliance, and trust in the power of money to smooth the way forward.
Enemy forces inbound.
Corporations. The Achilles Corporation. Optimize, iterate, refine. Achilles is the market-leading computer technology and is particularly noted for developing the reliable, efficient navigation computers used by most starships. The fear of a hyperspace misjump following a computer malfunction helped their scenario that Achilles capitalized on advertising helped to cultivate strong brand loyalty in the company's early days. Achilles is also a pioneer in the field of robotics, meaning it has long been hampered by the interstellar ban on the development of self-aware artificial intelligence. In the late 3200s, rumors surfaced that the corporation was attempting to circumvent these restrictions by placing organically grown brains in robotic bodies. No evidence of any such activity has come to light, and Achilles board members have not deigned to dignify the rumors with a response. There has also been speculation the company's leaders are extensively cybernetically enhanced, given their history of uncompromising takeovers and corporate machinations. Even their open business operations are characterized by ruthless efficiency, while their private dealings are rumored to involve everything from the blackmail of rival executives to assassination. Achilles' official line is that these rumors are sheer fantasy and a predictable, envious response to success. Nonetheless, the rumors persist, and Achilles' reputation is now so daunting that smaller corporations will roll over for a sign of turnover, rather than attempt to negotiate for better terms. Nobody wants to become subject of a career in movement. Bank of Zeons. Founded on trust. Established by the Senate family in 2682, the Bank of Zeons is currently the largest commercial bank in human space. Headquartered on industry in the Zeon system, the bank provides key financial services from individual accounts to vast corporate and government budgets. Though generally perceived as fair, the bank's market dominance makes it a frequent target of criticism, which regularly cites a lack of transparency and a long-standing policy of neutrality. The bank representatives assert the organization is entirely ethical, but critics cite instances of dubious conduct as evidence to the contrary. Many governments or corporate regimes over the centuries that were later corrupt and corrupt have been revealed as Bank of Zeons members. In May 2905, Bank Vice President Cyrus Hall was implicated in a fraud ring that siphoned $115 billion from the inhabitants of the Zeon system over a 2-year period. Once the scandal became public knowledge, industry regulators called for an interest and a thorough investigation of bank operations. The investigation commenced in June 2095, but despite a thorough examination of transaction histories, there was no trace of Cyrus Hall as a Bank of Zeons employee. When regulators searched for information, the CFO's entire existence, the birth certificate and biometric records, was fictitious. Inexplicably, accounts belonging to the affected appeared normal, with no evidence of the illicit withdrawals that prompted the investigation. When asked for an explanation, the bank's executive board stated, "Our organization has a zero-tolerance policy towards the misuse of its resources." Lack of evidence forced regulators to terminate the investigation. Rumors circulated that an executive-level colleague with power to make troublesome employees disappear. Supporters claimed the Hall incident was a failed smear campaign against the bank. In the centuries since, the bank has rarely taken news. When it does, such as during the 2005 Kincaid scandal, in which funds were routed by swift action ensured minimal threat to the bank and its markets.
Enemy reinforcements are coming in hot.
Starport safer than the surface. Best known for the iconic Coriolis, Brewer Corporation has been synonymous with starports since 2752. The first Coriolis, designed by Brewer, elevated the standard of off-road living to nearly 4 years and 1 billion credits to complete. Though crude and angular to look at, it was relatively simple to assemble in space. Heavy components that could be manufactured locally from low-grade materials. It boasted several innovative features: a self-regulated environment, living facilities comparable to those of planet-side outposts, first-rate medical services, and an innovative cylindrical docking system. By 3200, Brewer was the galaxy's primary starport manufacturer. After decades of rigorous testing, Brewer debuted its second design. Envisaged as an advanced, lightweight counterpart to the Coriolis, Odyssey's construction was less dependent on local metallic resources. The design retained the docking cylinder while featuring additional, full-gravity areas. While the Orbis proved wealthy systems, questions were raised over the starport's price. Brewer was unmoved, asserting that the company's high safety standards and extensive testing process made their starports well worth the cost. This did not stop several competitors emerging in the wake of the Orbis's release, claiming they could build room-quality stations at a fraction of the cost. The Merit Group was one such challenger, an industry newcomer with a background in planetary infrastructure. Launching the Nostra, an industrial station sold as a low-cost alternative to the Orbis, President Kane bragged about the starting specifications, claiming it would eliminate the need for exorbitantly priced installations. Ferring's assertions were beginners of the answer in 3255, when a catastrophic structural failure in the main ring of the Nostran starport in the Tau Ceti system killed over 100,000 people. Investigating the tragedy, industry officials attributed the incident to a lack of adequate safety.
Repeated failures to correct a fatigue fracture. Following a very public inquiry in which huge amounts of footage of the disaster was made available to the public, outrage over Merrick's negligence bolstered Brewer's Brewer called the incident a tragic loss of life, but they avoided it as a regard for safety. The Merrick Group closed its starting division in 3257, leaving Brewer as the sole node of large quality infrastructure. However, that seems changed. Corporations. Kane Massey. Because an honest day's work never goes out of fashion. Kane Massey stands as an example of the power of rebranding. During the fiercely competitive era that followed the first migration from Earth, the company's original incarnation, Howlett, Kane and Calvert, rapidly established itself as a profitable mining concern. Through a combination of nepotism and bribery, HC&C secured a federal guarantee of mining rights across several systems, with the caveat that failure to exploit the resources would set mining in forfeiture. In order to set up their mining operations as quickly as possible, HC&C had corners on safety, skimped on equipment quality, and made exorbitant promises to potential employees, promises that were later defaulted on. Workplace accidents, which were frequent, were hushed up. By the time these problems came to light, HC&C was a household name, and the fallout was severe. Token attempts at recompense were made, but the company's public image was badly tarnished. Emerging from struggling but respected logistics firm Massey Haulage gave HC&C an opportunity to reinvent itself as the local mining company. The rebranded corporation, Kane Massey, presented itself as a salt-of-the-earth, blue-collar operation, whose hard-working employees were treated with dignity. In an uncertain universe, so the advertisements ran, Kane Massey would always be there for you. The campaign was a huge success. Today, Kane Massey is now widely perceived as an old-fashioned company that both understands and sticks up for the working man and woman. But despite this wholesome image, and although safety standards have improved, the company is as acquisitive and concerned with expansion as ever. Corporations. Core dynamics. Unmatched interstellar supremacy. Core Dynamics is a giant conglomerate, best known as one of the galaxy's premier manufacturers of weapon and surveillance systems and starships, with a particular focus on combat vessels. Its product line ranges from the diminutive Eagle to the
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Gantuan Farragut-class battlecruiser, and also includes the most popular skimmer in the galaxy, the S4 Century. The company is known for its occasional discount events, offering reduced-cost ships either in celebration of a new design or as incentives for participation in a community endeavor. Core Dynamics has a long-standing supply agreement with the Federation and is responsible for the Federal Assault Ship, Corvette, Dropship, and Gunship. As part of this relationship, the company benefits from privileged access to federal black box data reserves, which it uses in its research and development branch. In the ongoing quest for more robust and effective ship designs, there is no substitute for data gleaned from genuine combat encounters. Corporations. Falcon de Lacy. Bridging the stars for half a millennium. Falcon Manspace, originally a small military supply company, experienced an overnight reversal of fortune when it released the Viper fighter, which proved popular with governments and private citizens alike. Indeed, demand was so high that Falcon Manspace had to farm out Viper production to other companies under license. With wealth came innovation and a range of new designs. Like the Viper, these new ships were named after dangerous snakes. The Cobra marked the company's entry into the trader market, while the lightweight, versatile Sidewinder was designed principally as a reconnaissance craft. As the company's wealth grew, it began to absorb many of the companies to which it had previously granted manufacturing contracts. In almost all cases, the target company's close working relationship with Falcon Manspace made such acquisitions frictionless and mutually beneficial. In 2982, the corporation merged with one of the largest such manufacturers, de Lacy Shipworks, becoming Falcon de Lacy. The company pioneered the now standard modular system of ship design that allows pilots to swap out components with ease. Significantly, the company made the schematics for the modular system freely available to its manufacturing rivals, broadening the choice of compatible modules available to pilots, and thus making the Falcon de Lacy marks more popular. Without this philosophy of component compatibility, spacecraft maintenance might have become a nightmarish scenario, in which being unable to get the proper parts could leave a broken-down ship stranded in dry dock for weeks, or worse, subject to botched repair attempts. Today, Falcon de Lacy stands out as one of the most enduring, widespread, and consistently admired corporations in colonized space. Public regard for the company is so high that the Alliance, Empire, and Federation have all made attempts to secure exclusivity to Falcon de Lacy starships. Thus far, their efforts have been unsuccessful. Corporations. Gutermeyer. Effortless elegance. Ship manufacturer Gutermeyer enjoys a supply agreement with the Empire, similar to that between Core Dynamics and the Federation.
Ready to put your training to use, soldier?
Talk to Frontline Solutions about how you can join the battles that will decide the future of this star system. We've got the means. Have you got the metal?
Copy that. 11 confirmed.
Welcome aboard.
1. Engage.
Gutamaya is a far younger company, however, and was in fact created by the Empire. The company's ships are considered to embody imperial opulence, and are instantly recognizable for their sleek contours and distinctive silhouettes. Imperial Gutamaya was chartered by Emperor Galen Trascan Devar in 3000, as part of a formal celebration of the millennium, in line with the Emperor's vision of an imperial renaissance in art, design, and architecture. The company's remit, overseen by shipwrights Jordan Blakestow and sculptor Amita Gutamaya, was to produce a line of ships that will combine functional excellence with a distinct visual style. These would be offered for a limited period to select members of imperial noble houses as a mark of the Emperor's favor. Amita Gutamaya's involvement was immediately apparent, a reputation having been established through well-regarded public artworks incorporating graceful, contoured forms. This helped to drive public demand for the ships, which became sought-after status symbols. Demand was so high that owners were forced to hire squadrons of mercenary escorts to prevent hijack. The Emperor promptly ordered Imperial Gutamaya to go into full-time production and to make part of its range available for general purchase.
From its inception, Gutamaya has employed a coterie of accomplished imperial artisans to ensure that their ships continue to reflect Amita Gutamaya's aesthetic principles. When, in 3006, Amita Gutamaya died in unexplained circumstances, she was interred in the Gutamaya family crypt on Aquila 6B. Herculean machines. Function first. Founded in 3299 by Maddox Hurd, Herculean Machines stands as testament to the power of a good family name. Son of Paul Ignacy Ulysses Hurd, Hurd Jr. founded Herculean Machines as a means of escaping conscription of the family business. Having the family trust for capital, Hurd hired graduates from the company's top engineering programs, with promise of being more than just a main core. Within 3 months of founding, Herculean had already registered patents in all 3 superpower jurisdictions. Using his family's contacts to secure materials at low prices, Hurd kept production costs down. The focus of his product simple. Whereas competitors spent billions on glossy design, Herculean was concerned almost exclusively with performance. Rapid growth followed, with a fresh round of funding allowing Herculean to open 2 more development facilities. Meanwhile, Maddox Hurd was earning a reputation as a bellicose president, known for browbeating his opponents, driving employees to break it. Reports began circulating of severely overworked engineers, with news outlets publishing accounts from anonymous whistleblowers. Hurd dismissed the reports as anti-Herculean propaganda, but a short time later, a disgruntled employee leaked prototype sketches detailing Herculean's upcoming device, the Girodrome. The leak reflected scathing criticism of Scorpio Devar, CEO of rival company Supertech. Devar described the archives as a great animal. Hurd stepped back, describing Devar as a pompous fool with practical ideas. With that exchange, the dam both CEOs agreed to dialogue until the 3304 Rackham Ultratech exit.
No vital signs detected. drop zone.
You have a green light to engage, Commander. The enemy has taken Alpha. Charlie has come online. Delta is in enemy hands. Alpha is now online. Enemy command has called in backup. Reinforcements are ready to deploy. Claim Bravo. Foxtrot signal is online. We're gaining the upper hand. Reinforcements inbound. Shields offline. Reinforcements inbound. Gotta take them out now! Shields online. Enemy command has called in backup. Reinforcements are ready to deploy. Enemy reinforcements are coming in hot. The enemy has taken Alpha. Shield online. Bravo is online. Reinforcements have arrived. Foxtrot is armed. Warning. Suit power loss imminent. Echo is lit up. Suit fully charged. Reinforcements inbound. Enemy reinforcements are coming in hot. Enemy has captured Bravo. Enemy has claimed Charlie. Entering pressurized environment. Suit recharging. Alpha is now online. Bravo is online. Leaving pressurized environment. Reinforcements are touching down. Enemy command has called in backup. Shields offline. Claim Bravo. Shield online. Entering pressurized environment. Delta is now online.
Shield down.
The enemy has taken Alpha. Enemy support has arrived. Bravo is online. Suit fully charged. Leaving pressurized environment. Drop a Echo for us. Keep it up. The enemy can't handle us right touching down. Claim Bravo. Enemy command has called in backup. Alpha is now online.
Reloading! Watch the six!
Reinforcements are ready to deploy.
Grenade!
Move!
Foxtrot is ours. Enemy has claimed Charlie.
Fall back!
Bravo is online. Foxtrot signal is online.
Why this precise?
Enemy command has called in backup. Reinforcements inbound. The enemy has taken Alpha. Pushing the enemy back. Don't give them an inch. Delta is now online. Enemy forces inbound. Foxtrot is armed. Reinforcements have arrived. Charlie has come online.
Warning. Vital signs weak. Vital signs stabilized. Entering pressurized environment. Shield online. Suit battery low.
Claim Bravo. Enemy forces inbound.
Target down.
Alpha is now online.
Suit fully charged. Leaving pressurized environment. Shield offline. Vital signs stabilized. Entering pressurized environment. Shield online.
Rendezvous secure. Reinforcements are touching down. Foxtrot signal is online.
Shield online.
Enemy support has arrived.
Entering pressurized environment. Leaving pressurized environment.
Delta has been captured. Enemy reinforcements are exhausted. Take out the rest. Bravo is online. Reinforcements have arrived.
Stay alert! Don't make it easy for us! Taking fire from the rear!
Entering pressurized environment.
Enemies on my six!
Taking fire from the rear!
Shots are being exchanged in Alpha. Reinforcements are ready to deploy.
Warning. Vital signs weak.
Shots are being exchanged in Alpha.
Shield offline.
Stay here! Move back!
Go back from this position!
Grenade! Cover me! Reloading!
Only one enemy remains. Take him out. Area secure. All targets down. Great job. Cash in your bonds at our port.
What I'm talking about!
Sweeping area.
Extraction request sent.
Four, three, two, one. Engage.
When their companies debuted new devices. Herculean won the bout, however, when the Durodrive proved more popular with consumers, its inelegant design notwithstanding. Herculean's success was compounded when the Federal Navy placed a wholesale order for the Durodrive, making the device standard issue for its soldiers. The revenue generated from the contract has given the corporation a near unassailable position in the tech company landscape. Kinematic Armaments. Conquer all. Defense industry veteran Kinematic Armaments is the galaxy's largest producer of ballistic weaponry. Established in 3240 by the Dunst family, Kinematic long ago outgrew its home in the Tau 1 Eridani system, and today has fabrication plants in dozens of systems. While Kinematic's efficiency is lauded, the company's business model is frequently criticized as unethical. To maximize output and minimize production costs, Kinematic operates pop-up factories in impoverished systems, which are decried by humanitarian organizations as little more than sweatshops. Kinematic's arrival in these systems frequently portends a monopoly of the local economy. First, the corporation purchases vast tracts of real estate to accommodate development. Then, once a production base has been established, the bulk of the local workforce is lured into employment with above-average wages, forcing surrounding companies to shutter. Understandably, this practice is the source of considerable controversy. Proponents assert that it revitalizes stagnant systems, while detractors condemn Kinematic's tendency to close facilities without warning as the unscrupulous conduct of a company consumed by greed. When CEO Catalina Dunst was challenged for closing Kinematic's third factory in 2 months, she made the following statement. Kinematic stands for strength